50. Carolina territory, jumps going to town. 20, 50, 10, 5, touchdown! I think, yeah, jumping time, baby. The sack, fakes, runs to the near sideline, still looking, throws it into the end zone. Touchdown! Touchdown, A.J. Green, back right corner of the end zone.
This one's from the heart.
Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network.
Gentlemen, good afternoon. Dogs need that kind of toughness in every game in this league.
Your emotions are as sky high as they ever will be.
It's not just another game.
And he's a big play kind of guy.
A terrific day of football ahead.
And the fans are ready for it.
Take out your Richter scales because Georgia is going to run out of the tunnel.
On the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network, welcome to the Napa Auto Parts Tailgate Show. Napa, get up and go. The Napa Auto Parts Tailgate Show is brought to you in part by Kroger. Enjoy free delivery with Boost by Kroger Plus. Proud partner of the Georgia Bulldogs. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Georgia's own credit union. Banking on purpose. By Georgia Farm Bureau. Always the home team. And by Merriweather and Tharp, the Atlanta divorce team. Now to the Scana Energy Stage. Here's Neil Hondo Williamson.
Lone setback is McIntosh. Play fake Bennett wants to throw, and back shoulder throw. Oh my goodness! Caught Bowers off a tip. 40, 30, 20, 10. Touchdown, touchdown. Brock Bowers caught the tip. Florida tipped it. Bowers stayed with it, and pay dirt for the Dogs.
Bowers, and boom, down went Florida in Jacksonville, setting up today's historic, unprecedented Dooley Field showdown. Undefeated, defending champion, third-ranked Georgia versus undefeated, top-ranked Tennessee, with the SEC East and quite likely a berth in the college football playoff at stake. Hello, Bulldog Nation. Welcome to a partly cloudy, warm, slightly breezy Athens, Georgia, where today we mark the 63rd consecutive sellout at Sanford Stadium, and I would hazard to say rarely, if ever, has there been a game ticket here as in demand as today's. Tennessee's turbocharged attack ranks first among all schools in total offense. Georgia's defense is second in the nation in points allowed per game, fourth in total D. Goliaths preparing to collide. Wow, do we ever have a tremendous Napa Tailgate show planned for you to take you right up to kickoff. From the press box high above Dooley Field, the voice of the Dogs, Scott Howard, joins us. Alongside me on the Scanda stage outside the UGA bookstore are three of Georgia's greatest quarterbacks, Eric Zier and DJ Shockley, and former World Wrestling Federation champion Lauren Smith, all here with us today. All right, man. Let's get this party started. Scott, based on rankings, today's showdown twixt the Dogs and the Vols is the biggest in between the hedges annals. What are your initial thoughts?
I really don't see what the big deal is. I mean, all this buildup for Georgia and Tennessee, just two old Southern teams going to play some football between the hedges. It's. I mean, it has the capability to be epic today, as they like to say. It's kind of surprising that we've gotten to this point. I mean, I think we expected Georgia to be here, but I don't know that a lot of folks expected Tennessee to be here, and their rise has been fast throughout the course of this season, and they've taken care of business wherever they've been, and they've had a pretty good stretch run through LSU and Florida and Alabama, and the makings for this one are very, very good. I I struggle with the idea to grasp that this is like the biggest game in the history of this stadium. We've all been coming here for so long and so many years, and we've seen great football here at this stadium and epic battles and all of that. I'm wrestling with the idea. Okay, is this supposed to be the biggest one? Is this the one that has the most oomph to it? I guess we'll find out in about 3 or 4 hours.
Well, Scott, one thing I know for sure is tensions have been high in the Zaire household all week long. We've got some marital issues potentially taking place right now between me and Julie. Hopefully those will get rectified.
We've got counseling in the booth here today.
Yeah, we're going to need it, especially when the Dogs win. One thing that I know, I am so sick and tired right now hearing about this Tennessee team, that they are the darling team, that they've got this explosive offense, that defensively, somewhere along the line, people have forgotten that defenses win championships. And they've forgotten that we've got a dominant defense, maybe not as good as last year, but we've got a defense that if anybody can go shut down this dynamic Tennessee offense, it's our boys in red and black. They've also forgotten that we've got an offense that is as explosive as Tennessee, if not more, because of the matchup problems that we get. I'm ready to get to 3:30 and get this thing kicked off so we can shut down all this talk about Tennessee.
Uniform right now. Get Zaire a uniform. He is fired up.
Well, I don't know if I need to say anything now. But I think about 3 games that you need to put in perspective. You didn't have the internet back in yesteryear. You didn't have television. You didn't have all the soothsayers and all the experts. But can you imagine how great it was in 1929? Yale is the most dominant team in America,
right, and
had been for years. They come in here and Georgia whips them 15-0. So that was pretty big. None of us were there at that time. And then in 1942, Georgia and Georgia Tech were playing for the opportunity to play in the Rose Bowl. Now, can you imagine what this town was like? As I say, no internet, no television, but that was pretty outstanding, and Georgia destroyed Georgia Tech.
Both of those teams were top 10 teams.
For 34-0.
Yeah.
So I'd say that game deserves a little credence. And then in 59, Georgia made the greatest comeback, I think, of Coach Butts' career, beating Auburn. What did we beat them? 14-13 here. Fran Tarkenton throws a pass in the air and no time left on the clock. So this one is great, and I think it's nationally it probably going to get most historians' vote. Has never been one more outstanding than that, and more pressure to win. But those other 3 games I think are important.
I think when it comes down to it, this is why you're a Georgia fan. This is why you're a Tennessee fan. You come and you want to watch, you want to be a part of environments and games like this. And if you're a player in this game, see, we've been in it. These are the games that you're coming for. These are the instances where you say, all right, I'm made for this. And I think regardless of the records, the rankings, whenever Georgia and Tennessee play, it's one of those type of games. I remember when we played, they were always physical, they were always tough, and they always meant a lot. And at the end of the day, that's what matters. And I think I love the fact that it's here. I love the fact that it means a lot. I'm glad that Tennessee is back and, that they got a chance to compete for what we're all competing for, which is going to Atlanta. But this is a just wonderful environment to be a part of. And I'm glad it's 1 versus 3. And I'm glad we're in our home building. I'm glad Dog fans are here early, coming in here early, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hours before game time, getting ready to go. This is what college football is all about, being here, being a part of this environment, and playing in this rivalry is one of the best you can be a part of.
That's fantastic, Shock. Yeah, no doubt Georgia fans have gotten here early. I came over last night for an event, and downtown was packed, and, I drove past a couple of different places to park, and they were packed with RVs already, and then coming back in. I drove home last night and then driving back in from Atlanta this morning with you, Eric, of course, and the fabulous Mrs. Hondo, and Lumpkin was out of sorts. Crowded for, we were coming in earlier than I normally do for a 3:30 game. And it was
$100 parking down across from the track today.
$100.
Well, I told them to give you a discount, Scott.
They wouldn't.
Oh, they wouldn't.
They said, we don't care, $100.
Back pocket
or
money.
keep moving there, Baldy.
That's crazy. That is nuts. All right, Tennessee's Roadrunner offense has gone beep, beep, and left opponents in the dust all season. Eric Zaire for opposing defenses. Coach Josh Heupel's scheme, it's discombobulating, it's exhausting, it's maddening, and it can be deflating.
Yeah, it most definitely can. And this offense is built on 2 primary things. It's built on tempo, and it's built on spacing. Very rarely do you see offenses where you get receivers that their initial lineup is outside of the numbers. They are trying to create as much space as they can and then use tempo to get opposing defense off schedule a little bit and create matchup problems that otherwise they wouldn't have if they had time to go get lined up. And then they want to keep opposing defenses on the field and not allow you to get in and go substitute. So spacing and tempo is really what Tennessee is built off of. Because of that spacing, they're able to get inside and exploit the middle of the field. Really critical for the Dogs today. 3 and outs. If you've got on average 10 to 12 offensive series in a game, we need 4 to 5 3 and outs. When you have up-tempo teams, when you're able to get them off the field before that initial first down, it really disrupts their momentum and what they're trying to go do. So that's going to be critical. Have to keep the football in front of us, and we have to apply pressure. When you look at so many of the big plays that Tennessee's had this year, it's come when opposing defenses are rushing 4 and the defenses are sitting back in some kind of zone look. Let's go, man. That spacing creates almost man-to-man matchups even when you're in zone. Let's go line up man-to-man. Our guys, we're going to say, are better than your guys, but we are going to get after Hendon Hooker with as many looks as we can possibly get at. We did it last year. Let's get him on the ground, and let's go get out of here.
I think one of the top things you talked about was playing top down. Obviously, they like to hit a lot of big plays. We've seen the highlights. We've seen that. If you can play top down, make them earn it. Make them go 8, 9, 10 plays because they're used to going 3, 4 plays, and they're out of there at a minute, 32 minutes and scoring touchdowns. Force them to be efficient on every single play. And then here comes your 3 and outs. Here comes some things that you got to do. I think for Georgia in this ball game, the number one thing I think that's really crucial is communication. You got to have communication on the back end because Z just mentioned they're going to spread you out. They're going to try to go fast. But if you're not communicating with a guy, you're not talking to a guy saying, hey, I got the deep third, or you make sure you play the flat, that's going to be a big part of this game. Can our secondary communicate fast enough to make sure that everybody's in position? Because if not, that's when they catch somebody slipping. That's when somebody gets behind you. You have to communicate in a way that is efficient for your squad. If not, then we're going to see some of the stuff that we saw, the last few games with Tennessee. So communication is big, but also playing top down, forcing them to earn it. Because I don't know if they are willing to go 8, 9, 10, 11 plays to go score because they're so used to scoring fast and going down the field.
Yeah, DJ, a lot of comparisons have been made to the 2019 LSU offense with this Tennessee offense in that, can just take over a game and blow people. Look at this. Brandon Boykin's walking up on stage with us. The great Brandon Boykin, ladies and gentlemen.
Suit up.
How are you, buddy?
Boy, what up, boy?
Yeah. Anyway, great to see you, Brandon. The LSU offense in 2019, and I remember that I think it was Auburn that when they played LSU had a lot of success by dropping 8.
Yeah.
They dropped 8 in that game and had a lot of success. And when we came out in the SEC championship game, we dropped 8 to start in that game. Is that something that you would do against Tennessee just to keep everything in front of you?
Well, I think you got to change the look up. It's a part of the plan for sure. You can't line up and just be vanilla every time or line up in the same coverage or the same front. You have to be multiple in what you do and give a guy like Hooker a lot of different looks. He's a smart guy, similar to how Joe Burrow was, probably seeing everything. But I think the most important thing is those guys up front have to win those one-on-ones. Our defensive linemen, guys on the edge, you have to be able to win those one-on-ones and get pressure with 3, with 4. It can't happen. So if you're able to do that, you got a chance to frustrate him. And I'm glad that Jalen Carter's back because we saw him last week. There were a couple times, especially on like a 4th down, where he just wanted to win. We're going to have it's a day where you need push from the inside of that pocket. Z and I can tell you, push from the inside is worse than anything on the outside because you can't step up, you can't see, you can't move. If you can get pressure from the inside and Jalen Carter can do that, that'd be a big, big step in the right direction.
So, Shock, I agree. We have to be multiple today. If we come out and we just try to do one thing schematically, it's going to be Heupel and this offense and Hooker, they are good enough to go figure that out if you are doing one thing all game long. What I would not shy away from at all is lining up in man free and getting after Tennessee. Put the pressure on them. Again, they do such a good job when they get in space and moving people around, and all of a sudden, where's my assignment? And they've got some eye candy going over here, and they're throwing it backside. When you're manned up, I know that I've got one person, and this is who I'm staying with the entire time. And now let me create as much pressure as I can possibly create. I wouldn't shy away from that. We've got the athletes to go hang with anybody in the country. Let's go put them to the test and go run.
In one quick sentence or two, explain to people what man-free is.
So you've got one free safety that is really roaming the field. He is looking at quarterback's eyes and going to where the ball takes him. Everybody else is lined up man-to-man.
Very good. Thank you so much. All right, further analysis throughout the show as Georgia going to try to find a way to adjust the governor on Tennessee's offensive throttle, for those of you who remember mini bikes and go-karts when you were kids. Before we take a quick break and return with a roundtable crew, Lauren, our dear friend and our former leader, Georgia legend Vince Dooley, laid to rest in Athens this week.
Private ceremony yesterday at the Catholic Center for the Family and Close Friends, and very appropriately at the gravesite, Neil, you'll probably read about it. There was a flyover, Air Force jets. Vince was a patriot, a Marine, and a great American, and I still have difficulty with him being gone. I just figured I'd see him after he got over his last little spell. There's another museum to visit, another historical site to explore, another class to audit, another game to watch from his box in Sanford Stadium, where he saw the #1 team in the country play on a field named for him, another speech to make to a garden club or historical society, touchdown club. Vince, a Prussian-born kid from Mobile, the waterfront Mobile, became a Renaissance man. We'll miss him, but are we ever happy that he came our way?
Beautifully said. Thank you, Lauren. Our prayers for Coach, Barbara, and the family. This is the Napa Auto Parts Tailgate Show. Napa, get up and go. Our engineer from Sanford Stadium is Adam Gillespie, the Road Dog. Head meat packer Chris Schiavone and Josh Connor produce from our Scana stage outside the bookstore. Our studio producer is Luke Ned Carney. Today's clash marks the 25th regular season game where the two top teams in the AP poll square off. The CFP, they say it's 1 versus 3, but those are just details. What counts is that the winner stays on track to the college football playoff. Scott, Eric, DJ, Lauren, and I will return in 2 minutes. This is the Bulldog Sports Network.
It's game day for the Dogs.
Pressure from everywhere. Steps up, gets away, but not from Nolan Smith. Number 4 dragged him down.
Let's rejoin the Napa Auto Parts Tailgate Show.
And 2 tight ends in the ball game. Delp is in 3 tight ends. Delp is in the game along with Bowers and Washington. Give it to McIntosh. He drives in straight. We try to push him with Washington. They'll push him in the end zone. Touchdown, Georgia.
The Napa Tailgate Show continues from the Classic City, a metropolis bulging at the seams, not only with residents and students, including the 93,000 who will attend today's SEC war between top-ranked Tennessee and number 3 Georgia, but as a destination for the party that started last night and should continue well into Sunday morning. Scott Howard, Lauren Smith, DJ Shockley, Eric Zier, your old buddy Hondo on the radio. Back to Tennessee's quarterback, Hendon Hooker. He is the leading Heisman candidate. He's thrown 21 TDs and only 1 interception. Plus, he's rushed for 338 net yards and 4 additional TDs. The idea of a big quarterback who can not only chuck the ball over the field but can also hurt you with his legs, it's not a unique concept in 2022, right? So far this year, Georgia's defense has handled Bo Nix, Anthony Richardson, Robbie Ashford, to name a few. How much better is Hooker than the others, and how much of his success is scheme-based? DJ Shockley.
I think scheme-based is a big part of it. Obviously, what they do, he's done really well this season, and it matches his skill set. But I think what separates him from those guys is how easily he gets rid of the football, how accurate he is with the football, and then the decision to get rid of it quickly is what I think separates him. Because a lot of guys we've seen, the Bo Nix and the Ashford, hold on to the football a lot. Well, he has a very clean pre-snap of what he wants to do. You can see when he watches, when you turn on the tape, he does such a good job of knowing where he wants to go with the football before the ball is snapped. And that's what makes it a difference in this game. When things move so fast, when defenses change so much, you have to have a pre-snap read of what you want and how to go about it. He does such a good job of going about it in that way. I think that's what separates him. Obviously, he's made a lot of good decisions. He's been accurate with the football. You've seen that 1 interception on the season. I think that might have been a tip ball in the bound game. This guy has an unbelievable, acumen for playing the quarterback position. He's experienced. He's 25. He's been here. He's done it. He's played in big games. And I think that is the reason why he's so successful in this scheme is first off knowing where to go with it pre-snap, but then when the ball snaps, not holding on to it and getting rid of it.
I agree with you, Shock. Listen, this scheme obviously benefits him. It plays well into his strengths, so scheme is without question a part of it. But I think it's safe to say this is the best quarterback that we have faced so far this season. He's one of the best quarterbacks in the country. He's extremely accurate with the football. Probably the biggest leap that he's had from last year to this year is his accuracy, especially on explosive plays. He's putting the football where he needs to. He's making good, smart decisions. And if things do break down, he's got the ability to hurt you with his legs as well. He is a threat that we have to account for on every single play. And the more that we can do to get, Shock was talking about last segment, get a good, solid push up front, limit vision, then collapse on the outside, keep him in the pocket, make him throw under duress as much as we can. Because if we don't, if he has time to sit back there and survey the field, he's a guy that can and will pick you apart.
Z, as a prolific passer as you were, what were some of the things you looked at pre-snap? Because obviously he has to know where to go to football first. A lot of quarterbacks, but in this game, what do you think is the difference for him with how good our defense is?
Yeah, I think for him, and especially anytime I would walk to the line of scrimmage, the first thing that I was looking at was protection and am I protected? So where could they bring pressure? And then immediately my eyes were going to the safeties, and I would check to see how the cornerbacks were playing as well. So protection first, then take a look at the safeties. That's going to tell you what kind of coverage they're in and where you need to go with the football.
Sorry, Hunter, I just want to
I'm glad you did. Thank you. Lots of talk about Tennessee's double espresso high-powered attack. But let's not forget that Georgia is second in the nation in total offense, barely behind the Vols. Scott Howard's up in the booth. If I'm Dogs offensive coordinator, Todd Monken, I might be inclined to clear my throat when everybody gets caught up in glorifying the Tennessee attack.
Are you implying that we should play tempo and go fast and flex our muscle and do what we do?
I actually do want to know that as well. That's one of my questions for later today is why not give them a dose of their own medicine?
Yeah, I mean, that's a possibility. You know, on the downside of that is if you do that, and Georgia had success with that last week against Florida, and as Kirby told us this week, that was part of the game plan to go fast, to play tempo, and Georgia did that to grab the early advantage last week in that win. But the downside of that is if you don't have success with the tempo, then you're giving the ball back to them and you're putting their offense back on the field. And it might be a situation that Georgia wants to keep the ball away from them today. Maybe run a little more clock. Maybe add more running play so that clock keeps moving and the other guys don't get a chance to have the football. So it's a chess match today, and we'll see which direction Georgia wants to go in. But Todd's done a great job of game planning and play calling all season long, and we'll see him mix it up against the Vols again today.
Look, I don't know about tempo. Don't know what the team game plan is regarding that. I just think there's been a consistency of success in Todd Monken running the offense. It's his offense. In fact, I'll tell you a little story in doing research for a book. He said Kirby told him the offense is yours, but said I would like to have a little input from time to time. And Todd says, would that be a suggestion or an order? So
good for him.
Todd runs the offense. I talked to Fran Tarkenton this week. I talked to him a lot. He was a brilliant mind, if there's ever been one, in the NFL. He likes Todd Monken's offense. He likes the play calling. So I think you've got a competent fellow there, and it doesn't matter what style you are, how you dress, any of that. The deal is to win, and he's got a pretty good win streak going.
Yeah. I have a good story I'm going to share with you during the break, a Ted Turner story that you're going to enjoy along those lines. Go ahead, Zay.
Well, I'll tell you, Coach Monken, I think, has done a masterful job this year of getting matchups that he wants, using tempo when he needs to use tempo because he's going to catch opposing defenses off guard. I think we continue to see that same dynamic. There's zero need to change. Right? Let's go get our tight ends in positions where we create mismatches. Let's use our backs out of the backfield. Let's take shots when we need to go take shots. So I don't expect much of a change. What you do expect is we're going to go take what defenses give you. And one thing that you can do against this Tennessee defense, I think, is run the football. Not that we're changing anything. It's we're going to have the ability to go run the football with our big tight ends, with our big, powerful running backs, and then control the clock that way. But our use of tempo and what we're setting course to do, we can go on long, bone-crushing drives while using tempo, and I don't expect there to be much change in terms of that.
Hundo, when you asked that question, I thought the exact same that Z said is, why are we changing for them? We have done what we want to do all year long, regardless of what they've done now. Situations in the game will cause for you to change up how you go about attacking Tennessee. But I think what you've done all year is pretty damn good. I mean, you scored 40 points yourself. You're doing a good job of running the football. You got a quarterback that's, doing a good job of distributing the football. I think the matchups are big in this game. And I think when you find those particular matchups, I remember last week, I'm sitting on the sideline, I'm talking to some of the guys, and they ran this one play, and it's like, all right, we're setting this up for later on. And they came back later, like the third quarter. These are some of the things that Monken does in the game that allows his offense to be successful. So I don't think we have to change because of what Tennessee does. I think we continue to do what we've done because we've been successful doing it already this year. Find the matchups we like, allow Stetson to make good decisions with the ball. But I think this is a game that we can run it, we can throw it, whatever we need to do to get in the end zone, that's what we do.
All right, excellent analysis. DJ Shockley, Eric Zier, Lauren Smith, Scott Howard, thank you, gentlemen. The importance of today's game cannot be overemphasized. The winner has the inside track to the SEC title game in Atlanta in 4 weeks, and then, of course, the college football playoff as well. The loser is going to have to hope to win out and then have some Rube Goldberg type of assemblage of different wins and losses around the nation occur to maybe have the unlikely chance of getting into the postseason tournament. Lauren has Paul Feinbaum on with us, so stay with us. Tennessee unranked at the start of the season, rolling into Dooley Field today in the top spot in the CFP poll. Georgia, defending national champions, and number 3, drink will flow and blood will spill. And if the boys want to fight, you better let them on the Bulldog Sports Network.
It's time to unleash the dogs.
In the pocket, nowhere to go. We got to sack him. We sack him for a big loss, and the ball goes over on downs.
Welcome back to the Napa Auto Parts Tailgate Show.
He's a hero in more ways than one.
Just try to be a good person, try to be there and do what I can.
I'm Jay Black with this week's Power Profile presented by Georgia Power. Daryl DJ Ray spent 10 years in the Army and served in Desert Storm, so he's already done enough for his fellow man. Now in civilian life, Ray's had a long career with Georgia Power, almost 20 years. But in September, Ray became a hero for another reason. He was traveling in his truck on I-75 near Tunnel Hill in northwest Georgia when he noticed a serious 2-car wreck. One car was still smoking, the other had rolled onto its side. So Ray went right to work.
Use my truck to block traffic and get the guy off the guardrail over to where the other guy was.
Other bystanders helped one of the victims, while Ray went to another man who was bleeding from his head.
Did what I could with what I had to work with. I had a small first aid kit and a box of paper towels.
Ray also had to stabilize the victim's spine.
If I see somebody in need, I would want the same thing for my family.
Oh, by the way, he's a trained combat lifesaver who knows what he's doing.
It kind of prepared me for it mentally.
This is not the first time DJ's been recognized by his company.
It's nice, of course, that's not why I do anything.
But today, that recognition will happen on Dooley Field during one of the biggest games ever played between the hedges.
It was a shock to get to Colorado. I didn't have any idea.
Georgia Power is proud to support one of its own, DJ Ray. Power Profiles are presented by Georgia Power. Power on, Georgia, and go Dogs.
15-2, Tennessee leading. Crowd roaring against Georgia, trying to make them drop it so they can't hear. We hand it off to Herschel. There's a hole. 5, 10, 12. He's running over people. Oh, you Herschel Walker. My God almighty, he ran right through 2 men. Herschel ran right over 2 men. They had him dead away inside the 9. Herschel Walker went 16 yards. He drove right over Orange Shirts, just driving and running with those big thighs. My God, a freshman.
Herschel Walker's first TD as a Bulldog. Unforgettable night in Knoxville in September of 1980. I have my ticket stub right there. You like that? There's my ticket stub from the game. Herschel running over Billy Bates. Okay, very good. Number 3, Georgia. Number 1, Tennessee. Ready to rumble between the hedges in the biggest game of the year thus far in college football. We bring in the shiny guns for a game like this on the Napa Tailgate Show, so we'll have Paul Feinbaum right after we pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is the Bulldog Sports Network. And here's our Lauren Smith. Lauren?
Well, we welcome to our show Paul Feinbaum. Everybody knows Paul. I think you're coast to coast now. Paul, where all does your show go? It goes into the far corners of the U.S., does it not?
Well, I don't know, but somewhere, Lauren. We're basically the SEC network can be seen nationally, of course, and then we're heard on satellite radio, so that would be both North America and Canada. So I guess a few people are. I don't know how many people are listening. It's available to a lot of people.
Georgia, Tennessee, such a big game. Everybody's here. You expect the SEC to have more games like this as we move along?
Well, I mean, this is the biggest game I can remember in a couple of years. I think the only, if you go back in history, 3 years ago on this very weekend, Alabama played LSU. I think it was a 1-2 or 1-3 game. Joe Burrow and Tagovailoa in Tuscaloosa. But I was trying. Somebody asked me, and I'm going to ask you a question, even though I'm being interviewed. In terms of Athens, I know the Notre Dame game was a big deal a couple of years ago, but it seems like maybe one of the biggest games since maybe the 80s when Bo Jackson came over here and it was like a 2 versus 3 game or 2 versus 4. I vaguely remember that. It was only 39 years ago.
Well, the only game I can think of, and we weren't there then, 1942 Georgia Tech.
Right.
The winner goes to the Rose Bowl. Now, there was no social media.
That was big.
No internet. That had to be big. And if you look at it from a relative standpoint, that might have been as big as there ever was.
But this is I remember, I mean, there were a couple of Auburn-Georgia games during the Herschel stretch and when Dye was starting to blossom with Coach Dooley. But yeah, I think it's, I mean, it's, essentially you have 2 number 1 teams here. I mean, the AP number 1 and the college football playoff number 1. That's never happened before. I can tell you that. So it's remarkable, and the fact that it's a game that really does have. They used to be must see every year until Tennessee's program fell off. It makes it even more exciting.
Paul, this game really is special. Now, you went to Tennessee. Do you have a little special feeling about the game?
I'm going to go ahead and tell you, yeah, I do. And the Tennessee folks will not like it. I did a couple weeks ago. I picked Tennessee to win in Knoxville, and that was difficult because my wife's an Alabama fan, and I spent most of my career in Alabama, but I like Georgia today. So don't tell anyone that. Off the record. You can play that later, but I really feel pretty good about the Dogs.
All right, very good. Anything about college athletics, you're not only in it, a vital part, you're also a fan. What do we need to worry about?
Well, I don't want to ruin the day because this is one of the great days we've had on a glorious early November day, but I am very concerned, and I think you share with me your concern. It's a dramatically different game. Now, having said that, as crazy as it is and as bad as it is, and it's pretty bad right now in terms of how players are being recruited, fans, when they show up at a game like this today, they forget all that. And I'm hopeful that as we move forward, fans will continue to. I'm not optimistic, though, because I think ultimately fans 40, 50, and over, which includes a lot of fans, are not going to like what we're seeing. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, there are some programs out there that go shopping for players every year, and it's different than when you went to school and when I went to school.
But there's still a lot of great things happening in college football.
Listen, I can sit here all day and criticize college football and talk about what's wrong. But it's not going to matter to one fan who is in the stadium today here in Athens or 10 to 15 million people watching on television. They're going to forget that for 4 hours. And that's really what we have going for us. Saturday is the greatest day of the week. Now, Monday through Friday can be annoying at times, but I don't think it's ever going to get in the way of Saturday.
Thank you very much, Paul Feinbaum. We go back over to Neil.
All right, thank you, Lauren. Thanks to Paul Feinbaum for carving time out of his week to spend it with us here on the Napa Tailgate Show. Dogs Fans, the UGA bookstore, and we're sitting right outside here. It's hosting some great autograph signings today. Stop by the bookstore between now and 3 o'clock and meet legends Buck Bellew, Lindsey Scott, Tay Crowder, and Malcolm Mitchell, all inside signing books and autographs as well. Today, the UGA bookstore has the best-dressed radio crew geared up with a brand-new long-sleeve Nike polo, and it's a striped polo, and it's back there. Somebody typed stripped. That's why I paused. I was like, a stripped? No, striped polo. Good. And more great news. Chub Crunch is back in stock. Shop the UGA bookstore for the best selection of Bulldog clothing and gifts. The UGA bookstore, located next to Sanford Stadium, is open every day and online 24/7 at UGAbookstore.com. The UGA bookstore, it's where dogs shop.
Hotel Indigo, Athens' only boutique hotel, just steps from North Campus, is the place to be in Athens. Join us after every home game for Dog Talk postgame, live from Hotel Indigo, Athens. Visit IndigoAthens.com to book your stay in the Classic City.
All right, that's Eric Zier, the Golden Arm himself. We'll come back in 2 minutes to talk to Z about Georgia's offense. Number 3, UGA versus number 1, Tennessee. Collisions commence at 3:40 on the Bulldogs Sports Network.
It's game day for the Dogs.
Pressure from everywhere. Steps up, gets away, but not from Nolan Smith. Number 4 dragged him down.
Let's rejoin the Napa Auto Parts Tailgate Show.
Quarterback draw. Bennett looking for a gap. Bounces out right. 4, 3, 2. Dives for the pylon. Got it. Touchdown. Stetson Bennett.
Stetson tearing up the Gators last week. Hey, thanks for making the Napa Auto Parts Tailgate Show part of your Saturday. Big day, we get it. Athens is teaming with red and black, and nice healthy dose of orange and white as well. Eric Zier, Neil Williamson, Lauren Smith on our Scana stage outside the UGA bookstore. Z, we've talked a lot about Hendon Hooker, Tennessee's Heisman hopeful at quarterback. Well, Blackshear, Georgia's Rodney Dangerfield impersonator, Stetson Bennett, has thrown for 2,349 yards this year. That's 11 more than Hooker. I don't want the Dogs QB1 to be getting an inferiority complex.
Yeah, no kidding. I don't think that's going to happen with Stetson. But, boy, all of a sudden, again, all of the narrative across the country within the Southeast, it's all about the upstart Tennessee Volunteers. And somewhere we've forgotten that, you know what, we've got a pretty good quarterback ourselves. We can go play defensive football. We can go play offensive football. But when you look at Stetson Bennett, overnight it seems like he kind of faded back into the forest, and nobody is talking about him again. But that's always when Stetson Bennett rises to the occasion. This is nothing new for him. He has been overcoming odds since he stepped foot on this campus, really throughout his football career. Stetson Bennett has been on this stage before. He understands how to win big football games. Hendon Hooker in Tennessee, this stage on the road, they have yet to be in. I'm interested to see how they're going to handle it because I've got a pretty good idea and feel for how Stetson and the Dogs are going to handle it.
All right, one glaring difference between the two quarterbacks and offenses has been Georgia's inability to hit the long passes in 2022. Does that concern you entering today?
It's concerned me all year long. We have to execute the explosives. We have had shot after shot where we've either had a drop pass or maybe we forced it, needed to check down. We have not played well in the explosives. And it's something that if defenses are going to continue to go press against us, which I think they will, they got that blueprint against when Missouri played us so close. That's the blueprint for the Dogs right now. We're going to go get up in your face, and we're going to come after you and try to create disruption in the backfield. When that happens, we will have shot after shot downfield to go take. We have to go execute, or we're going to continue to see that same thing over and over again.
All right, thank you very much, Eric. Is it the biggest game in Sanford Stadium history? We'll find out when the voice of the Dogs, Scott Howard, returns and tells us what he thinks. The dog walk into the stadium begins in 2 minutes. People are hanging from trees and buildings and whatever gives them a glimpse of the defending national champions as they traverse from the buses into the stadium. We're fired up. 3:40 kick today. Bulldogs Sports Network.
It's time to unleash the Dogs.
In the pocket, nowhere to go. We got a sack him. We sack him for a big loss, and the ball goes over on downs.
Welcome back to the Napa Auto Parts Tailgate Show.
Got it down to the 1. It's goal to go. Dogs up to the line quickly. Trying to score first. Snap back to Bennett. Give it to Edwards. He drives. Touchdown, I think. Yeah!
Yeah, you're listening to the Napa Auto Parts Tailgate Show. Napa, get up and go. That's the voice of the Dog, Scott Howard, and he is back with us. Scott, what's Athens been like this week? Is it more juice than normal for a big game?
I think it was, probably on Thursday you started to get the feel that something was looming ahead for the weekend, and the streets got a little more crowded, and you started to see the influx of folks. Yesterday was, anywhere in the Athens area was extremely busy if you were out and about. But I think, the early part of the week it was kind of business as usual. As far as the football team was concerned, it was coming off a win, getting ready for the next game, practicing, following the protocol for the week. So I would say it was normal, and then towards the end of the week, it got a little busier, and of course we're seeing the fruits of that today.
Well, we're talking about big games, and Lauren was talking about them from 29 and 42 and 59 earlier in Sanford Stadium history. Which ones stand out in your mind from the 40-plus year span that you've been covering the Dogs?
Probably, when I was a student, I was a freshman at Georgia in 1980, so that was a good time to start. Mm-hmm. Probably that, there were so many in that 1980 season that were huge, and South Carolina was one of the big ones because that was the matchup between Herschel and George Rogers, and that was a big home atmosphere. And then you get to when I actually started working on the radio network, games like, well, the Tennessee game here in 2000 when Georgia ended the losing streak to Tennessee and they tore down the goalposts. Mm-hmm. There was a big build-up for that ball game, and then the goalposts like Tennessee's win over Alabama. They made the exodus through town and up Lumpkin Street, I guess, and through downtown. I don't know where the goalpost ended up that night, but that game and the Auburn game, the blackout game. A little bit later, about 8 years later after that, and of course Notre Dame a few years ago was off the chain, and those are some of the ones that kind of jump off the page at me.
Yeah, Notre Dame for me in 19 is one that stands out, regardless of rankings, just because of that electric atmosphere, that vibe, and the light show and the spectacle and all of that. The uniqueness of the Irish visiting for the first time was big. Auburn in 71. Now I was in New York then as a kid, and I've told this story before, but I was a kid, and I was looking forward to seeing the Heisman Trophy candidate Ed Marinaro of Cornell play that afternoon, and I turned on the game, and they had Georgia and Auburn. I was like, who are these teams? I don't want to watch these teams. Coach Dooley always loved that story. Whenever I told him that, I'd remind him of that. I was like, Auburn and Georgia? Who? I want to see Cornell, man. Just that.
Well, Ed was big time.
Ed was big time. He was big time. I don't know where he went, Julie. Hang on just a second. Anyway, 83 against Auburn. That was obviously big with conference implications. And then Alabama in 1976, when we beat Bear Bryant, that they shut down the streets around the stadium. Baxter and Millage got shut down because people wouldn't get out of them.
Yeah, anytime Bama shows up here, it's a big deal because that's so infrequent, and kind of like Tennessee in the series for all those years that we didn't play.
Yeah.
And it took expanding the conference and creating divisions for Georgia and Tennessee to get together on a yearly basis. So they've been doing that since '92.
Yeah, I brought that up in the pre-tailgate show, I guess. Definitely. You know what? I've got Kevin Butler coming up, so we'll talk to him about it. All right, great, Scott. Thank you so much. Looking forward to your call today.
Thank you.
Top-ranked Rocky Top in town to battle our number 3 Dogs. Kevin Butler is next on the Bulldog Sports Network.
Counting you down to kickoff.
Bowers breaking away midfield. Bowers will take it to the house all the way.
You're listening to the Napa Auto Parts Tailgate Show.
Ball's on the Georgia 30, second down and 15. Ball is out after Tennessee gets clobbered. We pick it up, and we're off and running, and that is Tay Crowder running near sideline. He's going to take it to the house. 10-5, gets in there under a tackler. Touchdown. Wow.
Goal line defense, 7 seconds. A fresh back in there, Jabbar Davis. Watch him hurdle in, and let's see if that's what they do. They're blocking backs moving, and they give it to Jabbar. He fumbles, and we dive on the ball, and we pick it up. We got a man running on the 20, the 25, the 30 run. He's got blockers behind him, the 40, the 30. Sean Jones going all the way.
Sean Jones in 2003, Tay Crowder in 2019. Scoops and scores that helped Georgia crush Volunteer dreams, both seasons. Georgia has defeated Tennessee 5 straight and in 10 of our past 12 gridiron confrontations. Kevin Butler, he of the College Football Hall of Fame, alongside us now on the Napa Tailgate Show. This is the All-State Kicking Game Report. At All-State, score savings worth celebrating. Championship savings for the win. Kevin, my gosh, we need to make Tennessee drive the length of the field every time they get the ball. And special teams going to play such an enormous role in that today.
Yeah, it really is, Hondo. This is a game where you really can't emphasize the special team play and what every yard means. You know, Georgia's coming into this game giving up about 130 yards less than the Tennessee's defense. So those hidden yards can kind of make that gap close on Georgia really quick if we're not covering good on punts, if we're not being efficient on kickoffs. Not getting downfield, making sure that we're covering well on kickoff. So those hidden yards are going to play a gap closer, or it's going to give Georgia that comfortable cushion that we have going in there on defense right now. So very, very important.
I was listening to you and JD last Sunday on the Bulldog Brunch, and you were talking about kickoff returns, and sometimes a fair catch is a really good play.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we're just not doing really well on protection for that. Guys are getting beat. I think we've been attacking a lot earlier than we need to. You need to really drop back inside that 30, even inside the 25, then make that block. But, you know, with this team, it's okay to start out at the 25. I think that gets our crowd into it. It certainly doesn't give Tennessee the opportunity to get jacked up.
Yeah, I love that point that you made. Your first ever game was against Tennessee under Coach Dooley on what is now Dooley Field. Yeah. Dogs were national champs. Many of our fans, young and old, though, they may not realize that the visit by the Volunteers in 1981 was only their third trip to Athens in 45 years. It was very rare that we played the Volunteers back then, and highly unusual for us to play each other at all. And that was a huge game because it was also the newly expanded stadium.
It really was. You know, couldn't have been any bigger for me. I was a nervous wreck going out there. I just knew one thing that was going on with Tennessee. They had a guy back returning kickoffs named Willie Gall, who I got to know as a teammate in Chicago. And it was just my goal to not let him return any kicks that day. And I'll have to ask Jeff if I didn't, but I don't think he returned any that day. One, they got there. I knew he would know. So they made one return, which we did very well on.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, they didn't hit the end zone.
I did not want to try it. No, 44-0. 44-0 was a great way to start off a career.
Great article in Sports Illustrated the following week talking about the freshman kicker, Kevin Butler.
I think they called me Babyface. I have no idea where that went.
Better than three-fingered, I guess. I don't know.
Well, it went from Babyface to Butthead. I think I've done well.
You have done well. Very good. Thank you, Kevin, very much. Kevin's debut for Georgia, September 1981. First game without a view of from the fabled railroad tracks across East Campus Road, and the expansion under athletic director Vince Dooley at the time increased the building's capacity from 19,000 seats to 82,122. Today, 92,746 will pack into the 15th largest stadium in the world to see number 3 Georgia host top-ranked Tennessee. Eric Zayers, D-Zayers for the Dogs in less than 10 minutes on the Bulldogs Sports Network.
It's game day for the Dogs.
Pressure from everywhere. Steps up, gets away, but not from Nolan Smith. Number 4 dragged him down.
Let's rejoin the Napa Auto Parts Tailgate Show.
This moment of commitment is brought to you by Georgia Farm Bureau Insurance. Always the home team. The University of Georgia is powered by purpose. We are a community of leaders, builders, and innovators on a mission to improve the lives of people across the world. As an academic and athletic powerhouse, we are committed to achieving at the highest levels and delivering impact through research and service. We are the University of Georgia, where possibility becomes reality.
Here's Hooker ducking under. Pressure from the edges. Almost got a sack, and then he will go down. Robert Beal back in the ball game, and will get the sack on the second attempt.
We hope that Robert Beal gets some more of those today like he did last year against Hendon Hooker and the Volunteers. Ice the cold ones down and turn the radio up, baby. Number 3, Georgia has designs to wreck Tennessee's 4-day reign as number 1. Welcome back to the Napa Tailgate Show. Here's our Lauren Smith. Lauren.
Thank you, Neil. Joining us now, Matt Sine, who is the CFO of the National Football Foundation, College Hall of Fame. Had a little gathering last night with Fidelity, which sponsors the on-campus tribute, which you'll be managing with with Champ Bailey. In the second quarter.
Yeah, first quarter.
First quarter. All right. Well, we look forward to that. And give us an update on what's happening with the National Football Foundation.
Well, thank you. And first of all, our condolences to the Dooley family and to Barbara and the entire Georgia nation. Coach Dooley was a class act. He was a great coach, and he was an even better man. And so our condolences go out to the entire family. But today's always a fun day, Lauren. You get to come and celebrate one of the greatest players to wear the Georgia uniform, and Champ Bailey. And these are the great days about my job is you get to recognize these great players, and not only that, you get to find out what good people they are, and sometimes we tend to forget that all these were great players, but all these men went on to graduate and find success outside the gridiron.
Well, you did such a terrific job, and Matt, I've known you since you came to town working with the CBS Network crew. And we all try to get together on Friday night when we can. I want to mention that the Georgia chapter is the #1 chapter in the country. It has been for a number of years. And Lynn Chandler will be down there with you in the field today, so we're right proud of our chapter.
You should be proud of your chapter. We have 121 chapters in 47 states, and the chapter here in Athens is the largest in the country and has been for 14 of the last 15 years. Somehow you let Wyoming get in front of you that 1 year, but you've recovered nicely. But do great work here in the community and really promoting the student-athlete ideal here in the community.
Well, Fidelity, we want to thank them for their involvement because they help you put on a first-class operation, a first-class function, the dinner last night, and of course on the field today.
Yeah, they're wonderful people, and they truly believe and are committed to higher education. There's not a better partner out there than Fidelity Investments.
The state of football, then, you're in a position to give a great assessment of that. What would you say?
I think that, there's a lot on the college football plate with postseason, trying to figure that out, and the portal and the NIL. But like Paul said earlier, we still have Saturday, and Saturday's great, and there's nothing wrong with the college football regular season. We might have issues with our postseason and our off-season, but college football is the greatest regular season sport there is, and look what you got today. This is special.
Well, you're special, and we thank you for coming our way. Thank you, and thank Fidelity. Champ Bailey will be honored. We tried to get him on with us, but he had another commitment, and it didn't work out. Should have started earlier, but Champ Bailey certainly deserving of this great honor as a member of the College Football Hall of Fame. We'll go back over to Neil.
All right, thank you, Lauren. Matt, great to see you. Thank you for coming in for sure. We're motoring towards a 3:40 kickoff. Eric Zier is next with his Dogs Desires. SEC East Showdown, number 3 Georgia versus top-ranked Tennessee on the Bulldogs Sports Network.
It's time to unleash the dogs.
In the pocket, nowhere to go. We got a sack him. We sack him for a big loss, and the ball goes over on downs.
Welcome back to the Napa Auto Parts Tailgate Show.
Play fake. Bennett throws it wide open. Big O, 15, 10, 5, 3 as he spins down to the 1. He destroyed a man at the 15. They brought him down. They'll spot it on the 2.
Oh, yeah, get that rock to the tight ends. I'll bet you that's one of Eric Zier's desires as we rejoin the Napa Tailgate Show from the Tate Plaza outside the UGA bookstore. Zires Desires are brought to you by Athens Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram, proud to partner with the Georgia Bulldogs in the constant pursuit of excellence. Get the best selection at Georgia's largest Jeep facility. Go to athensdcjr.com. Expect more, get more. Give me the winning formula, Z.
Well, Hondo, you're absolutely right. Getting the football to our tight ends with the mismatches we've created all year will be one of them. But I want to start on the defensive side of the ball. This high-powered Tennessee offense is built on two things. It is built on tempo, and it's built on spacing. So how do you limit tempo? 3 and outs. If in an average game you're going to have 10 to 12 offensive series, we need 4 to 5 3 and outs to keep Tennessee from getting into any kind of cadence with their offense, to get the momentum on the side that they need where that tempo can hurt you. 3 and outs critical today. We also have to force the game in the passing game to the sideline as much as we can. Tennessee does a great job of finding space that opens up massive lanes and gaps in the interior of the field. You'll see them time after time, slants, ends. Have to eliminate that and take that away. Also have to keep the football in front of you. Make this Tennessee offense drive the field. They are built on explosive plays. And then finally, don't be afraid to be aggressive. Every time you've seen Tennessee this year gash people, opposing defenses have sat back in zone. They've rushed 4. They're not able to get to Hendon Hooker. And though they do such a great job within schemes, they're able to go torch you downfield. We've got athletes that can run with their receivers. We need to pin our ears back and come. On the offensive side of the football, protect the football. If there's been one bugaboo right now this year getting at the University of Georgia, we have turned the football over. Tennessee's too good on offense. If we give it to them, it's going to be tough to win the game this afternoon. And then finally, we have to win on first down, have to keep this game manageable. Tennessee very aggressive, playing with a lot of confidence on the defensive side of the ball. We want to be able to move the chains, control the clock, not getting out of what we do offensively, but grind this thing and play some grown man football. It's going to be a fun afternoon.
It sure is. Thank you, Eric. Time now to check where the Dogs rank. Presented by Northside Hospital. The first CFP poll is out. Georgia's 8-0 record is worthy of only the 3rd spot in the eyes of the committee. With today, put a W on the board, and all that will change in a hurry. Northside Hospital is guided by one clear direction, a mission to heal. With expertise in maternity, heart, cancer, orthopedics, and more, you can move into tomorrow with confidence. For a healthier future together, look to Northside Hospital. Dog walk is just let out, I know, well, not just because the dancing girls are here with their pom-poms, but because so many people have shown up as well up onto the Tate Plaza. Scott Howard will grab Coach Kirby Smart for an exclusive scouting report. That's about 10 minutes away. And coming up next, we'll have our weekly predictions with the entire Roundtable crew and the Ken Nugent Call of the Week on the Bulldogs Sports Network.
Counting you down to kickoff.
Bowers breaking away midfield. Bowers will take it to the house all the way.
You're listening to the Napa Auto Parts Tailgate Show.
Lone setback is McIntosh. Play fake Bennett wants to throw, and back shoulder throw. Oh my goodness! Caught Bowers off a tip. 40, 30, 20, 10. Touchdown! Touchdown! Brock Bowers caught the tip. Florida tipped it. Bowers stayed with it, and pay dirt for the Dogs.
That's your Make the Call, presented by Ken Nugent. Injured in a wreck? There's only one call. That's all. 1-800-CALL-KEN. Time for predictions as we take 5 from our intense preparation for Georgia and Tennessee between the hedges. Dooley Field here in Athens. Last week, Eric was a magnificent 2 for 2 in predictions. Magnificent relative to the rest of us because Scott and I each picked 1 of 4 games correctly, and Lauren and Shock hung goose eggs.
Oh,
yeah. Boy, Shock, there was an awful lot of trash talk coming from you last week for you to throw up a donut. Nice job. Good work right there.
Yeah, that was a tough week.
Very good. All right, DJ's lead is now down to 1 over Eric, 3 over Lauren and your old buddy Hondo, and then 4 on Scott Howard. On to this week's picks. Number 18, Oklahoma State at Kansas. I'll go first. I bet on the Cowboys last week. Big mistake. Still, the Oklahoma State University win. Shock?
Yeah, last week was tough as well. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Oklahoma State. Yeah.
I'm going to jump on that bandwagon as well. Oklahoma State burned all of us last week. They rebound this week and get a win.
Oh, my goodness, my turn. I'm going to say right up together.
All right, Scott.
Kansas has lost 3 in a row. I say 4 in a row today. I think Oklahoma State rebounds from a shellacking they took by TCU last week.
All right, Syracuse at Pittsburgh. The Orange are number 20 in the nation. Did you know that these schools have met every year since 1955? Yeah, I didn't care either. All right.
I was just going to say the same thing. Yes.
Scott, you're up first,
I
buddy.
like that.
That's
We
shock.
should just leave it right there. That's the line of the day right there. Pittsburgh to win at home to break their 2-game skid.
Shock.
Yeah, I'm riding with Pitt, too. I like Pitt, too. I mean, Cuse has had a good year, but Pittsburgh started the year really strong. I like Pitt.
Syracuse is ranked and Pittsburgh isn't?
That's correct.
I'm going with the ranked team.
All right, Z.
Yeah, I am too. You've got DJ that's on a slide. He got hot there for a little bit in the year. Now he's just going backwards with all these picks, especially when he's jumping on the bandwagon with Scott, who is, I'm not sure if Scott's won a game all year.
Wow.
I like Syracuse just because Shock and
Feisty
Scott
today.
picked Pittsburgh.
All right, well, I'm going to go with Syracuse because I don't know why. I don't know about those teams. Anyway, number 24, Texas. At number 13, Kansas State. DJ Shockley, start us out.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go ride with Kansas State on this one. Texas is, they've been up and down a little bit. Ewers is, I don't know. Sark. I'm going with Kansas State at home.
Well, I'm sort of ambivalent here today, but I think Kansas State at home might be the percentage pick.
It is my goal to pick the games that will keep you in full ambivalence, Lauren. Actually, we try to pick the ones that we think are going to be close. I will go with the Wildcats as well. Zeke?
Yeah, I am too. A big win last weekend, burned all of us. I like Kansas State to carry that momentum over.
It is my goal to spell ambivalence. I'm going to take Texas after an off week. Good preparation coming off the loss to Oklahoma State. I say they go into Manhattan, the Little Apple, and win.
All right, number 21, Wake Forest at number 22, NC State. In the ACC, they call this a big game. Wake Forest at NC State. Mr. Howard, then DJ Shockley.
I'll take the Demon Deacons to win slightly on the road here.
Yeah, Wake Forest let me down last week really bad. I don't think their quarterback makes the same decisions and interceptions he did last week. So I'm going to stay with Wake this week until they burn me.
I'm going to go with the home team. Two pretty evenly matched. I think 21 and 22, if memory serves correctly. I like North Carolina State because they're at home.
NC State has won 15 straight home games. A win today would tie the program history set in 1972 by Coach Lou Holtz. Under Lou Holtz, like a classic rock album from Bad Company, I am running with the pack. Lauren?
Why you didn't tell me that before you? Oh man, you did that.
You got to do your own research.
You can change. You can change right now.
No, I'm good.
Okay. All right, Lauren.
Hey, Scott, Howard Taylor's got to go if you're selling dictionaries if you want to buy one.
Okay, yes, bring one up for me.
I'm going to go with the home team, NC State Wolfpack.
All right, excellent. Thank you so much, gentlemen. Dogs fans, be sure to check out the G Shop at GeorgiaDogs.com for exclusive releases of Nike Game Day official apparel, just like the coaches wear. Visit GeorgiaDogs.com and the G Shop today. Coach Kirby Smart with an exclusive scouting report of today's number 1 Tennessee, number 3 Georgia clash. That's 2 minutes away on the Bulldog Sports Network.
It's game day for the Dogs.
Pressure from everywhere. Steps up, gets away, but not from Nolan Smith. Number 4 dragged him down.
Let's rejoin the Napa Auto Parts Tailgate Show.
Back here on the Napa Bulldogs Tailgate Show, Georgia and Tennessee coming up in just a little bit. Time to take a look at today's opponents, the Tennessee Volunteers, and both Georgia and Tennessee coming in with unbeaten records, unbeaten overall and in conference play. And Coach Smart is here to take a look at the Volunteers today. And, Coach, how familiar are you with this team over the course of this season? Have you had a chance to look at these guys much at all?
Yeah, obviously we looked at them hard in the off week, looked at them hard in the off season. Then we came back and obviously we watched them ever since the Florida game. They are very experienced. That's the thing. I look across here: senior, redshirt, senior, redshirt, junior. senior. I mean, when you look across their defense, they're just extremely experienced. And you have that kind, they don't make mistakes. They understand what it's like to play in the SEC. And they got a lot of kids that have been through a lot. So got a very experienced football team.
We do hear a lot about their offense, but let's start with defense. What do you see from their defensive group? What's the talent level of these guys outside of the experience?
They're good. They play really hard. They play really physical. I think a lot of times when people look at people and they try to put stars and put ratings on them, these guys are really good football players. They've got several guys from the state of Georgia. Several of them we recruited. They've got a couple transfers that came from. One of them came from Alabama. He's playing well for them. So they know what they're doing. They got good football players, and they play really hard, playing with a lot of confidence right now.
Are there a couple of individuals there you want to point out?
Yeah, the Byron Young kid, we recruited really a good player. He's an elite pass rusher, probably a top 2-round draft pick. He's playing at a really good high level. The linebacker, Jeremy Banks, the guy that seems like he's been there forever. Has played well for him. And then the safeties, Trevon Flowers and Jalen McCullough, they started as freshmen. So they've been through a lot, and they're playing in their 4th year. There's just not a value that you can put on this, like having Chris Smith in the position we have him.
Offensively, people hear of the tempo that they run and the passing game, but this is a team that's pretty balanced. They have an excellent running game as well, don't they?
Yeah, that people don't understand. The running is what gives them the passing game they have. They thump you. They make you commit to the box. And look, people say, well, just stop all the big plays and let them run it. It's easier to run the ball than to throw and catch it. So if you allow them to run it, they will run it, and they will run it down your throat and embarrass you because they're physical and they're tough up front. You have to force them to throw it, and then you got to cover the guys they got that are fast that can do it.
You hear a lot of talk too. Their receivers will line up all the way to the sideline. What does that do? What does that do for a defense when their guys are way far away from the snap of the ball?
Well, it defines who's coming. They know when somebody's coming. They can't very well blitz from out there on the sideline. So it defines clearly who's helping the run and who's helping on the pass. You can't do both. So a lot of teams play where you could have this guy close. He could do this. He could do that. Not them. You got to go out there and show your hand, and I'm going to go cover, and then somebody else is going to come in here and stop the run. So if you put too many on the run, they throw it. If you put too many on the pass, then they run it. And they're right because they make you show your hand.
Special teams thoughts on Tennessee and what they do?
Yeah, really well coached. Eckler, who was here, does a lot of their special teams. He gets after it. They blocked a punt this year. They've got the best punt returner we faced this year, who does a really good job. He had 2 big returns this year. So quality special teams.
Coach, thanks for your time. Hope it's a good one today. Good luck against the Volunteers.
Thank you. Go Dogs.
That is Coach Kirby Smart. Our look at the Tennessee Vols. The Dogs in Tennessee are coming up here at Sanford Stadium in just a little bit. Hondo, back to you for more of the Bulldogs Tailgate Show.
Thank you, Scott. Thank you, Coach. Bulldogs fans, tune in tomorrow at midnight to WSB TV Channel 2 to catch the latest episode of Kirby Smart All Access. That's Kirby Smart All Access tomorrow at midnight on WSB TV Channel 2 or anytime next week at GeorgiaDogs.com. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is the Bulldogs Sports Network. We'll have Eric Zier and DJ Shockley game planning for the top-ranked Volunteers versus our Dogs in less than 10 minutes. We'll start swap and paint at 3:40. Lauren.
It's time to unleash the Dogs.
In the pocket, nowhere to go. We're going to sack it. We sack it for a big loss, and the ball goes over on downs.
Welcome back to the Napa Auto Parts Tailgate Show.
Dejon takes the handoff. He fake left, drive right, shoots out of the gap, shoots out of the pile, and into the end zone for the touchdown. He shot out of the pile to the right and just came out with nobody chasing him.
Number 3, Georgia on home turf to take on top-ranked Rocky Top. Our first home game at Dooley Field. since its namesake's passing last week, fitting that it is a contest with massive consequences for not only the SEC East, but also national implications. This is the Napa Auto Parts Tailgate Show. Napa, get up and go. Let's go down to DJ Shockley on Dooley Field. He's got the J. Reed Parker, Director of Athletics, Josh Brooks. Shock.
Appreciate it, Hondo. All right, Josh, we sit over here looking at the student section, and we saw one Tennessee fan up there, and they were going crazy. Just talking about right now, this atmosphere already is going to be crazy as it already is.
Yeah, we're not even 90. We're outside of 90 minutes kickoff. We're right there at the mark, and it's already starting to get crazy in here. Now I want to go check that guy's ID, and we're gonna get him thrown out of the stadium. I don't know what, but no, this is what we talked about. And we've seen it great all year, but this is even at another level of students getting here this early and being this loud already.
Take me through what it's like to obviously have one of the biggest games of the year here in Athens. Obviously 1 versus 3, but just what it does for the university to have a game like this here today.
It's big on so many levels, from the town and gown, hotels, restaurants, things of that nature. It's great for football programs, great for the university, but it's also great for other sports. We got signing day coming up for a lot of other sports on November 9th, and the success we've had, these game day atmospheres, has been phenomenal for those sports recruiting. So we're looking to sign some really big classes in those other sports come this Wednesday, and it's all a byproduct of days like today.
Love it, love it. Last thing I got for you, game plan for today. Everybody has their suggestions, what they think should happen. What do you think should happen today, the Dogs to get a win?
Yeah, a lot of people are talking about what's happening in the secondary on the perimeter and the formations, what they do. But again, we always talk about it's always comes down to the line of scrimmage. I think what keys for us is going to be they get rid of the ball quickly. So we got to get pressure up the middle early.
Yeah.
And it may not lead to sacks. Everyone gets enamored with sacks and things like that. But it's not all about stats. It's about getting pressure and forcing quick throws or bad throws or getting in his face and just aggravating him. So it may be things that don't show up in the stat sheet, but getting that pressure, controlling the line of scrimmage on both sides is going to be the key to the game for me.
I love it. Let's go get it, Josh. All right. Go Dogs, man. Let's go.
Go Dogs.
I know. Back up to you, bro.
All right. Thank you, Shock, and thank you, Josh. We'll talk with Eric Zier on the task that faces Georgia's defense. That's coming up shortly. We'll also check in with Eric and DJ Shockley about a game plan for today's Georgia game.
Hi, Bulldogs. My name is Grace Egan from Dallas, Texas. I'm a 5th grader at McCullough Intermediate School. The Tailgate Show will continue after these messages on the Georgia Bulldog Sport Network.
Counting you down to kickoff.
Bowers breaking away midfield. Bowers will take it to the house all the way.
You're listening to the Napa Auto Parts Tailgate Show.
Well, they've got Pig Howard in there. There's the snap to Pig. He fakes the handoff, going to keep it and run to the left. Oh, he's hit. He's hit at the 16 and driven back right into the slot. Take that, Pig. He didn't get it. Rambo delivered the blow. My goodness.
Oh, yeah, well, that was a great call by the voice of the dog, Scott Howard, and Georgia's nail-biting triumph up with Tennessee. 2013 for that one. Scott with us now in an electrified Athens GA. Scott, we've lost the defensive bell cow, Nolan Smith, for the remainder of the season. How does the rest of the injury report look today?
Yeah, that's very unfortunate for Georgia. The other guys are kind of questioned game time decisions where we've been the last few weeks. I don't think we'll see A.D. Mitchell today. I don't think he's quite ready. Xavier Truss might be a question mark. Hopefully he's able to get in. He had a toe injury, we were told, last week against Florida. Left the game and didn't come back, and they said he probably could have, but hopefully we'll see if he's able to go today, and if not, it'll be Devin Willock to get that left guard spot to start the ball game. Crossing our fingers for Kendall Milton today too. The junior from California has missed the last couple of games with injury, so hopefully he can go today. Who am I leaving out? Jalen Carter should be back. I mean, he played last week against Florida. He might play a little bit more this week, so that's good news for Georgia's defense, certainly with Nolan Smith. Dan Jackson is out, obviously, as he was lost for the season a couple of weeks ago. I think that's about it as far as up to date. They don't tell us specifically, so we're just kind of playing a little bit of a guessing game here.
All right, very good. Thank you, Scott. Can't wait for your call of the monumental matchup today.
Take that, Pig.
Take that, Pig. This is the Napa Tailgate Show. Time for the Dos Equis scoreboard update, brought to you by Dos Equis, a proud sponsor of Georgia Athletics. Get a dose. Enjoy Dos Equis responsibly. All right, in the third quarter, 19th ranked Tulane leads Tulsa 24-10. Number 7 TCU on top of Texas Tech 13-10. They are in the third. Also in the third quarter, 17th ranked UNC has rallied back to take a 17-14 lead on Virginia. Third quarter, it's number 2 Ohio State tied with Northwestern 7 apiece. Also in the third quarter, Texas A&M leads Florida 24-20. And third quarter score, Nebraska on top of Minnesota 10-3. Thanks to Chris Schiavone for his assistance with those scores. Tennessee is ranked number 1. Georgia number 3, the highest ever combined opponent ranking game in Sanford Stadium history. We'll game plan for the upcoming bloodbath with Eric Zier and DJ Shockley in 2 minutes on the Bulldogs Sports Network.
It's game day for the Dogs.
Pressure from everywhere. Steps up, gets away, but not from Nolan Smith. Number 4 dragged him down.
Let's rejoin the Napa Auto Parts Tailgate Show.
Stetson clapping his hands. He waves Mack off to the right. Takes the snap. Looks, throws over the middle. Wide open. Caught. Kier's at the 4. Spins and back pedals into the end zone. Touchdown standing up.
That was 2020. Kyrus Jackson enters today's top 3 tussle with Tennessee. Only 39 yards shy of 1,000 for his career. We are in the middle of a hyper-energized fan base outside the bookstore on our Scana stage. Our backs are just a short lob from Sanford Stadium. This is the Napa Tailgate Show with some very special guests. Here's our Lauren Smith. Lauren?
Yes, happy to have with us Danny White, the athletic director at Tennessee, and his brother Mike, who is the men's basketball coach for the Bulldogs. Great to have you guys on with us, and your family history is such that I think everybody in your family has been an athletic director or a coach. Danny, let me ask you this. You're a senior here in the lineup. Was it something of an unpardonable sin to grow up in your family and not get a big-time athletic job? Well, let's see.
Do we have Danny?
Danny is not here in the booth.
Okay.
He was going to be on the field.
Okay. Do we have Mike?
Well, yes. Mike, are you there? Well, we're striking out.
That's all right. We're temporarily ghosted on that. Why don't we get into a little game plan here? Shock, are you with us? Yeah. Or we'll just game plan right now. Why don't we talk about something else? Here, Z, Napa Tailgate Show, Eric Zier with us. Our record-setting 2021 defense suffocated the Volunteers. Hendon Hooker last year. 6 sacks. We won the turnover battle, 2-0. Thus far in 2022, Georgia has been terrific at keeping opponents from our end zone and excels in lots of defensive statistics, but turnover creation and sacks haven't been as prevalent in our success.
Yeah, and I think both are critical today. When you look at this Tennessee offense, they've got a very experienced and physical offensive line. They've done a good job of spreading people out so much, forcing people into zone coverages where they're just finding big alleys and busted coverages, not able to get to Hooker and get him on the ground. We have to be willing today, I think, to go man-to-man and apply pressure, bring a multitude of looks, try to get and create a little bit of confusion, get into the backfield as much as we can. If we do that, we can get Hooker on the ground and maybe force him into some throws that he doesn't want to make where we can create some turnovers. But today's a day that you want to see those two things start to happen.
Georgia linebacker Nolan Smith tore a pec. He's out for at least 4 or 5 months. How much will his absence be count today for Bulldogs? His absence be prevalent in what we're trying to do spiritually, emotionally, physically, mentally?
Yeah, it's a big loss, Hondo. You think about all the losses we had coming into the season and the guys that we had to have replace them. I think this loss of Nolan Smith is as big as anybody from last year as well because of what he means. Now, this Georgia defense, this Georgia team has done a great job with this mentality of next man up. We've got talented guys that can go step in, but you lose a leader like a Nolan Smith, it's gonna have an impact and a negative impact on what you're trying to do. So it's a big loss, but we've got guys that can step up and play for sure.
Wonderful, Eric. Thank you. Number 1 versus number 3. Need we say more? We'll come back with more, including a great Munson highlight is coming up in the next 15 minutes or so from the Tennessee-Georgia series on the Bulldog Sports Network.
It's time to unleash the dogs.
In the pocket, nowhere to go. We got a sack him. We sack him for a big loss, and the ball goes over on downs.
Welcome back to the Napa Auto Parts Tailgate Show.
Hey, thanks for staying with us. We have number 3 Georgia against top-ranked Tennessee between the hedges today, and Lauren Smith has 2 special guests. Lauren?
Yes, we're happy we caught up with Mike and Danny White. Danny is the athletic director at Tennessee. My brother Mike is the basketball coach at Georgia, and Mike hasn't been on the scene long, but we like what we see in him. His work ethic, so much that he does, it's positive, and I think Georgia men's basketball is going to be a lot better moving forward. Danny, let's start with you. What kind of coach is your brother Mike?
Oh, he's a heck of a basketball coach. I think you guys are going to really be proud of what he builds here. I can't wait to see it all unfold.
Well, now everybody in your family, I think, has had a significant athletic director's job or coach. Growing up, was it an unpardonable sin not to have the ambition and see it play out that you were going to be in athletics?
Yeah, we all grew up in college sports. Our parents were coaches, and Pops was an AD for a long time. Only one of us was smart enough to do something else, our sister, who's an English teacher, and Mike's the only one that was good enough to coach. So we're all just proud to be a part of college sports nationally and be close to the student-athlete experience, and being part of a university community is pretty special.
Well, I've had an exposure to Jim and John Harbaugh, and their dad Jack's a good friend of mine. They've played each other, so this is not like you're playing each other. Danny, you're representing Tennessee, but Mike, while you're just a basketball coach at Georgia, you represent Georgia. What's the family reunion like with all these loyalties and all these different jobs?
Yeah, you know what? It's football and basketball, 2 different sports, but I'm standing next to Mike. He's wearing a Georgia logo. I got a Tennessee logo, so we'll be standing on different sidelines today. Family reunions, we don't talk much sport. We just enjoy being around each other and probably make fun of each other a little bit, find some other things to compete with.
Now, your father, Kevin, was an outstanding athletic director, Notre Dame and Duke, am I right?
Yes, so this is Mike here. We're just passing it back and forth, but yeah, Pops has recently retired from Duke University, the most prolific athletic director in history. Danny's chasing him. But we talk about coaching trees a lot in our industry, and I've been fortunate to have a few that I've worked with that are head coaches. My father worked with 31 head Division I athletic directors at one time or another, so he certainly left his imprint. He's amazing.
Well, quickly before we go, Mike, tell us a little bit about Georgia basketball this winter. What should we look forward to? We're
going to be competitive. We've got to rebuild. We know that. We've dove into the portal. We had some returners come back that have a lot of pride and want to see Georgia turn the corner. We got a really special group in terms of character and connection. It's not going to happen overnight, but we are going to be competitive. We're going to battle. We get better every day in practice. Had a good one this morning. We're ready to tip it up on Monday. But right now, focused on
Mike, I can tell you, everybody who gets to know you, all of my friends in Athens, longtime basketball supporters, they like what they see, they like what they hear, and they come away with positive vibes whenever they meet you for a coffee, conversation, or whatever. So we wish you the best. Danny, we're going to wishing you the best today. We might do that for you next week, but this week we're going to hope that Mike's logo is the one that's dominant.
All right. Thank you, Lauren, and thanks to Coach Mike White and Coach Danny White. And we're going to honor Coach Vince Dooley today on Dooley Field. And there will also be a nice ceremony for Charlie Trippi, too. Plus 2 of the great ones in the past 2 weeks.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for having us, guys.
Thanks so much. Very much. All right. The Dogs defense must try to corral a thus far unbreakable Bronco in the form of Tennessee's offense. We'll get a fresh take on all of this from Eric Zier and DJ Shockley in 2 minutes on the Bulldog Sports Network.
Counting you down to kickoff.
Bowers breaking away midfield. Bowers will take it to the house all the way.
You're listening to the Napa Auto Parts Tailgate Show.
Free handoff, Cook, big hole left guard. Cook to the 30, 25, 20, breaking towards the sideline. They won't catch him. James Cook with a touchdown.
James Cook leading the Dogs to victory in Knoxville last year. That was 5 in a row over Tennessee. Today's game plan for success is brought to you by Piedmont Bank. Piedmont Bank is a proud sponsor of the UGA Athletic Association. See what we can accomplish together at Piedmont.Bank. This is the Napa Tailgate Show. We have Zier fans out here on the Tate Plaza, right? Yeah, oh yeah. Got all kinds of big fans out here. That's right. Time to game plan with Eric Zier, DJ Shockley, Neil Hondo Williamson. Let's keep it simple, fellas. How do you stop UT's Usain Bolt offense?
Yeah, Tennessee is built on tempo and spacing. You got to get them off the field. 3 and outs. If you've got 12 drives on average that you're going to have as an offense, we need 4 or 5 3 and outs just to keep them from gaining momentum. Got to force this football game to the outside because of that spacing. They create a lot of lanes on the inside. Got to take that away from them. Keep the football in front of us. Make them drive the field. And finally, we've got to find ways to put pressure on Hendon Hooker.
Yeah, I totally agree with everything Z just mentioned. This is an offense that you have to affect him. If you allow him to sit back there and be comfortable, he's going to continue to do what he's done all season. We got to find a way to push that pocket like we've talked about since the beginning. But also, I think we got a chance to create some turnovers. We got to force the issue here, be more aggressive on the outside. And at the end of the day, where everybody wants to try to play coverage or, drop 8 in the coverage, I think Georgia is good enough to say, all right, let's go man to man and let's lock them down and let's see who can be the best player out here on the field. So let's see what we can do, but I think we have to be multiple. But the number one part of this game is affecting Hendon Hooker.
All right, last Saturday, Tennessee shut down a probable first-round pick, Will Levis from Kentucky, 98 passing yards, 3 interceptions. How will Georgia's offense stop that from happening today? Shock, you go first.
Sorry about that. Say it again, Hondo. Sorry.
Will Levis shut down last week by Tennessee. How's Georgia going to stop that from happening?
I think you got to do similar stuff to what you did. What they're trying to do with Levis is got to get after him, and you got to kind of control this line of scrimmage here with what we're doing out here.
Yes. So listen, this Georgia offense has not been stopped by anybody this year. We're not Kentucky. We create such mismatch problems against any defense that we play. We have to continue to be us in this football game, get our tight ends involved, run the football. Tennessee, if you could have positive plays on first down and keep Tennessee from being able to pin their ears back, it's going to be a fun afternoon for this offense. So no need to change anything. We're not Kentucky. We have got one of the most explosive offenses in the game of football right now. We need to continue to play our game, make them adjust to us.
And one thing I want to add to that, Hondo, is we got to continue to be better on third down. We are one of the tops in the league in third down. I think we're over 50%. We were 50% last week. We have to be able to sustain drives in this ball game and not give them extra opportunities and then not turn the football over. So be really good on third down, which is you got to be good on first and second down. So hopefully that trend continues and we stay over 50%.
Excellent. Thank you so much, men. The hullabaloo, it's palpable here in the Classic C. Tons of people have poured into town without tickets because the party and the experience is going to be so much. What do you see there, Z?
Filling up. The Dog Nation is ready to roll, baby.
They are indeed. We'll bring you all the excitement and action and reaction right up to kickoff, through the game, and then well into the evening. Stay with us. This is the Bulldog Sports Network.
More restrictions may apply.
It's game day for the Dogs.
Pressure from everywhere. Steps up, gets away, but not from Nolan Smith. Number 4 dragged him down.
Let's rejoin the Napa Auto Parts Tailgate Show.
Look at the sugar falling out of the sky.
He just stepped on their face with a hobnail boot and broke their nose.
Georgia football history through the voice of a legend.
My God almighty, did you see what he did?
Lindsey stop!
You talk about a stupid miracle.
Here's another listen back to Larry Munson's greatest calls.
I slot to the left, Tennessee in a stunted 5-4 defense. Buck Bellew back to throw, looking, and he's going to go down the middle of Lindsey, and it's complete on the 5. What a catch with 2 men all over his head. Lindsey Scott with 2 men all over him. Harper and Bates, the safety men, all over his shoulder pads, and Lindsey Scott up in the air. They put it on the 6, and the gain is 29 yards down to the 6. Lindsey Scott up in the air, and the Dogs are goal to go with 4:30 to go in the quarter, and this big stadium rocks. Dogs are 4th down on the 1, and now Tennessee's in an 8-3, and they go powerful backfield, and they go to Herschel. He dives, touchdown.
Got us going early in Georgia's season-opening defense of the 1980 National Championship. So 1981 on what would become Dooley Field under the tutelage of Coach Dooley. 44-0, Dogs whitewashed the Volunteers. Try it again, take 2. You're listening to the Napa Auto Parts Tailgate Show. Napa, get up and go. And coming up in the next 10 minutes, Coach Kirby Smart gives us the exclusive Inside Skinny on today's historic matchup. Eric, Schock, Lauren, Scott Howard return in 2 minutes on the Bulldog Sports Network.
It's time to unleash the Dogs.
In the pocket, nowhere to go. We're going to sack him. We sack him for a big loss, and the ball goes over on downs.
Welcome back to the Napa Auto Parts Tailgate Show.
2nd and goal from the Gators 7, trying to add to a 21-3 lead. Snap back to Bennett, throws it quickly on a slant to McConkey, catches it between the hashes, and he gets to the goal line. Touchdown!
Ladd McConkey with the score versus Florida 1 week ago. Ladd enters today's skirmish with Tennessee with a team-high 31 catches, 413 yards, and 2 scores. The Napa Tailgate Show from the Tate Plaza in Athens, getting you prepared for what we hope will be a fantastic battle on Dooley Field between number 1 Tennessee and 3rd-ranked Georgia. Scott Howard, Eric Zier, DJ Shockley, Lauren Smith, Neil Williamson with you. We have Adam Gillespie up in the booth, Chris Schiavone, Josh Connor down here at the Scannis stage with us. Emotion, emotion, emotion. Everyone is fired up. Fans, coaches, players, even the 2 billion people in China are excited about today's game. Okay, maybe not all of them. Maybe not all.
A lot of them.
Yeah, but will the fact that Tennessee was ranked number 1 in the debut CFP poll, leapfrogging Georgia, who had sat at number 1 in the AP poll and continues to, but we had for weeks, will that provide any kind of emotional lift for Georgia today, Scott Howard?
I don't know if it will for the team. I don't know that they get caught up in all that stuff. If you just continue to win and take care of your business, then all that stuff is sorted out. But it certainly riled up probably the fan base. I think there were a lot of folks that were baffled by that move and scratching their head over it. How could this happen? But it's just another poll, another ranking well before the season is over, and Georgia may use some of that as motivation in the locker room before they come out if anybody gets in their ear about it. But I don't really think it's that big of a deal here on this first Saturday in November.
Yeah, Scott, I agree with you. I think for the Dogs it has zero impact. We have been in this environment. We have played in these kind of national marquee games under Kirby Smart since he's arrived. We played a national championship games, playoff games. We could care less about where the rankings lie. I think if anything, we talk about the rat poison and reading your own press clippings. I think it could have negative impact on somebody like Tennessee that hasn't been in this position in quite some time. The players on this team surely haven't been in this kind of a position or in this kind of a game. And then all of a sudden, all of the talk across the country, it is on this Tennessee team. How good they are, how their offense can't be stopped, on and on and on and on. And now they become the number 1 team in the nation. That's where rat poison starts to take its toll and has effect. So if anything, it could work against the University of Tennessee. For the Dogs, I think it has zero impact.
I think both of you guys have made some really great points, and they're spot on. The first rankings, I mean, nobody really cares where you are at that point. It only matters in the early part of December where you end up. And I think that's what Kirby has stressed to his team, especially this week. I don't think he will even mention we failed at number 3 or whatever that means, because he knows if we play to our capabilities, if we do what we're supposed to do, at the end, that's all that matters, and that's ultimately what you want to get to is being number 1 when the final ranking comes out. So I think right now, yeah, you talk about it, it's something that, maybe your family members telling players and all that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, when this ball is kicked off here at 3:40 or whatever it is, the rankings won't matter. It's about that guy in front of you and beating that guy in front of you.
Lauren, you think it has any impact on everybody?
Well, I was just thinking, it's really a game of mental involvement, and I really feel like that Kirby has done a great job of getting his players ready to play throughout his career. He can't be perfect, but I feel that Kirby is on top of things as well as any coach in the country, including Nick Saban. So I think he'll have them ready to play.
All right, do or die game today for the Dogs. Lauren, we know how hard it can be to claw back this late in the season.
Well, it's obvious if you lose this game, it's going to be next to impossible to get into the 14 playoff. I mean, that's unfortunate. Too many undefeated teams out there.
Yeah.
But, strange things happen.
Okay, very good. One goal of this Tennessee offense is to create so much confusion that the opposing defense just can't get set, right? They're all discombobulated before the ball is snapped. When Paul Johnson was coaching at Georgia Tech, we found out that Coach Smart would often dedicate little pieces of practices all season long leading up to the Georgia Tech game so that we could be prepared even better for the option attack. Have we done anything similar in long-term prep for the uniqueness of this Volunteers offense? Scott Howard.
Well, we're told that there's always prep for the other opponents over the course of the season, in the off season. Kirby told us during the off week they worked on the remaining opponents. So there is some advanced work. I don't know if it's as intense as what we learned that Georgia was doing for Georgia Tech with the, as Z liked to call it, the high school offense. That was a different animal. This one's all about tempo. I mean, as far as the game is concerned, the X's and O's, it's still kind of the same. It's just pace of play, and they peck and they peck and they peck until they found somebody out of place, and then they hit a big play. That's kind of the modus operandi. I don't even know if that's the right phrase or is a phrase, but that's what Tennessee wants to do. They want to catch you out of place, out of position. So Georgia's got to know its assignments on defense, and they've just got to be able to handle the pace that Tennessee throws at them. They did it last year. They handled the pace. It's a more experienced and veteran pace this year by Tennessee because all those guys are back. But Georgia's a big boy football team. I think they can handle that.
Yeah, my high school Latin teacher, John R. Hogan, would say, "Well done, Mr. Howard. Well done with your Latin."
With my BS.
Yeah, well, you know what he used to say to us when we didn't get things correct? He'd say, "Mr. Williamson, when you go to the Dairy Queen and they don't put enough chocolate on your sundae, what do you say?" And you'd have to go, "Moron, moron." And you, Mr. Williamson, are a moron. I swear. Love that, man.
Well, thanks for the tip.
Yeah, any final thoughts about Georgia's task ahead today, Lauren?
Line of scrimmage, LOS. I really feel like the Georgia line of scrimmage has gotten better, and they're coming together, and you need that with each and every team each year. So I feel good about that. And Neil, could I just mention, we want to send our thoughts and prayers out to Steve Weber, our former baseball coach, who's not doing well, and just love old Steve. Do you know Georgia was the first SEC team to win the World Series, and Steve was the coach?
Yeah. It was great. Well, our condolences, not the condolences, but definitely best wishes, and of course our condolences going out to the Trippi and Dooley families as well today.
Yeah, absolutely. And then final thoughts on today. Listen, it's been a long, hard week in the Zaire household. I've had to sleep in one room. Julie's had to go sleep in the other one. I'm ready to go get this on. There's been an awful lot of talk. There's been an awful lot of hype built around this football game. It is going to be a great clash. I'm ready for the talking to stop, and I'm ready to get out on the field and see who can go play grown man football and put themselves in a position to go accomplish all their dreams. It's time for the big dog to eat.
Shock? And Scott.
Well, I'm with Z on this one. I'm ready for play. The talking. I mean, we can keep on talking till we're blue in the face, or we're red and black, or orange and white. But I want to see this. I want to see our team in action. I want to see if we can stop these guys offensively. That's all we've heard about all week long in the build-up to this game. Nobody can slow down the Tennessee offense, or nobody can figure it out. Well, I want to see how the Dogs figure it out today.
All right, excellent. Thank you so much, men. Note, should the scenario arise, the Vols will not blanch about going forward on 4th down. So far, UT has converted 14 of 19 4th down attempts in 2022. Georgia is 8 for 9. Scott and Coach Kirby Smart in 2 minutes. It's arguably the biggest game in Sanford Stadium history. We'll have it for you right here on the Bulldog Sports Network.
Counting you down to kickoff.
Bowers breaking away midfield. Bowers will take it to the house all the way.
You're listening to the Napa Auto Parts Tailgate Show.
Dogs keep their offense out there on 4th and 7 from the Gator 33. Gators jump off sides. Georgia goes for the free play. Bennett to Bowers. He makes a twisting catch at the 10. Tackled at the 4, out of bounds.
Oh, yeah. Brock made it all the way to the 4. I think we scored on that one. I think we beat Florida, too. Great game last week. Bigger one today. Brock Bowers earned SEC Offensive Player of the Week and enters the game with 16 career touchdown catches. Let's throw it down to Dooley Field, where our DJ Shockley is standing by with a Hall of Fame guest. Shock?
Yeah, I got my man Champ Bailey down here. Champ, obviously, man, before we talk about this big game, let's talk about what it means, obviously, to be going into the College Football Hall of Fame and how big that is for you and the fam.
You know, it means everything, right? I think about my college career and the work I put in. It's just gratifying to see over 20 years later that people still recognize me for what I did back then. I'm honored, man. I'm honored to represent that G, first and foremost, you know, and my family. And, you know, it just means everything.
We know Dog fans still love you. They always love the Champ name coming out here. Now, the real question is, Kirby wants to know, you got any eligibility to shoot up today?
Well, if they want to win today, they need to keep me on the sideline. Because although I look slim, I don't have it.
All right, tell me about this game, man. Obviously, one of the biggest matchups here in Sanford Stadium. The crowd's been rocking. What do you think has to happen for the Dogs to get a W today?
Well, I'll tell you what, we got to be loud as hell. Like, when they're on offense, we got to be loud. We got to be disruptive as a fan base. But as a team, we just can't give up big plays. When you watch this Tennessee team, they thrive off big plays, catching you off guard. If we don't make mistakes on defense, it's going to be tough for them.
All right, take me through the mindset of what Keely Ringo's going to be going through today. Kamari Lassiter's going to be going through with this offense and how they like to throw it around. What was your mindset when you went against a gunslinger like Tennessee and how they like to go fast?
Well, the idea is to keep the ball in front and be great tacklers. Plays will come to you, but you can't give them anything.
Yeah.
Like, you cannot give them the big play that they're looking for, because a quick strike offense, they don't want to methodically go down the field. They want to hit the big one and get you on the ropes. That way you're playing on your heels all day. So as a corner, top down, top down, top down, and the plays will come.
Top down. Y'all heard it from one of the best, my man Champ. Champ, appreciate you, brother.
Always, baby.
Go Dogs.
Go Dogs.
All right, back up to you, Hondo.
All right, thank you, Shock, and thank you, Champ, and congratulations to Champ Bailey. A big, big year for Champ going into the Hall of Fame. All right, counting down to a rock'em sock'em tilt between the hedges. We will have Coach Smart with Scott in 2 minutes on the Bulldog Sports Network.
It's game day for the Dogs.
Pressure from everywhere. Steps up, gets away, but not from Nolan Smith. Number 4 dragged him down.
Let's rejoin the Napa Auto Parts Tailgate Show.
Welcome back to the Bulldogs Tailgate Show. Georgia and Tennessee coming up. Coach Kirby Smart is here for a couple of minutes to talk about the team and about this game and the build-up for these. Are they easier or more difficult to prepare for when you have a game of this magnitude as opposed to just one that's considered to be a regular type game?
They're all big. I mean, I don't think there's one that's bigger than another per se. They're just all huge in the SEC. I think the implications of this one are obviously big because they don't have any losses in conference, and we don't either. And it makes it a little different because if you lose another one, you still know you got a head-to-head with them that you got to play. But with both teams not having losses, it makes the implications large.
What have your workouts been like this week in your preparation?
Kids have been really focused like it normally is. It's attention to detail, leadership guys speaking up, talking about how important everything we do is. And it's the way it's supposed to be every week, and you really can't take that for granted. I mean, there's probably a little more heightened awareness of what's going on.
Unfortunately, you've had a couple of injuries in the last 2 weeks and losing defensive players in Dan Jackson and now Nolan Smith. What do those positions look like with those guys absent?
Just much thinner. That's the toughest thing. The start of the year that every kid that's practicing is got to be ready, and you don't know where that second teamer or third teamer is going to have to start. And if you knew, you'd get that guy more reps. But you just start developing, and you grow them, and you get them better. And that's why you recruit good players. You got to have guys ready to step up. So we don't have a guy like Nolan in terms of personality and the leadership he brings, but we have similar players, and they'll have to step up and play. And the same thing with Dan. He's a great leader, and he gives us the flexibility of being deeper, and we're really thin now at safety.
What are some of the things that you really wanted to dive into to get your defense ready to face this Tennessee offense today?
Well, we started with the motto of no layups. They get a lot of layups. They get busts. They cause problems in the secondary and the back end because they are unorthodox. So you're playing against something you haven't seen all year, and you have to get that exposure quickly, or you could have a bust. And they put pressure on you because the pressure is they go so fast that it forces you to communicate, and when you have to communicate fast, sometimes you make mistakes. And it's been evident that everybody that's played them has made those, and we're trying not to.
Georgia played tempo last week against Florida, and it seemed to be pretty effective. What were your thoughts on how you picked up the tempo, the pace of the game, and how you performed?
Well, we had some success with it, and I think that was part of the game plan to be able to do it. And every defense plays different against it in terms of exposure. I doubt this Tennessee defense would be shocked to see tempo because they certainly practice against it all the time.
How about your offensive workouts this week? How are things going there?
It's been great. Those guys work really hard. We've had some guys on the offensive line shuffle around, some guys injured. AD still out. We've had guys beat up. Kendall. It's been really tough. Probably on that side of the ball, more injuries than really on the defensive side of the ball.
You get to this point in the season, it's just you're just trying to piece everything together and keep it all in the road, it seems like.
Well, you try to use the guys that got to touch the ball. You know who they are, and you get your playmakers the ball, and you got to be able to function and block these guys. There's some misnomer out there that these guys aren't good on defense. They're really good on defense. They play really hard, and they can play without caution because of the scoring on offense.
I think it's fair to say both teams are going to be really good today. And offensively, what are some of the keys you're looking for your guys?
Well, for our offense, the biggest thing is, be explosive. All year we've talked about being explosive and have explosive plays, and when you do that, you score points. And we got to do that. We got to keep the chains moving. We got to keep their offense off the field, and whether that's by run or air, doesn't matter. We got to do what they give us.
Kirby, thanks so much for your time. Good luck against Tennessee. We'll catch up with you later. Thank you.
Thank you. Good Dogs.
All right, that's Coach Kirby Smart. Georgia and Tennessee are coming up. And Hondo, back to you for more of the Bulldogs Tailgate Show.
All right, thank you, Scott. Thank you, Coach. Good luck today. Since the dawn of the 2000s, our Dogs have captured 9 SEC East titles. Over those same 22 seasons, the Vols have won the division only 3 times, not a single one in the last 14 years. Since 2000, UGA has earned 3 SEC championships. UT, on the other hand, hasn't won an SEC football championship since 1998, the year SpongeBob SquarePants debuted on TV. A rivalry that was dominated by the Volunteers in the 1990s has been wiped away, first by Mark Richt and of late under the direction of Kirby Smart. Number 1 Tennessee, 3rd-ranked Georgia. It's going to be a cool rockin' time in the town tonight. We'll be back with more of the Napa Tailgate Show after this on the Bulldog Sports Network.
It's time to unleash the dogs.
In the pocket, nowhere to go. We got to sack him. We sack him for a big loss, and the ball goes over on
Welcome back to the Napa Auto Parts Tailgate Show.
Tennessee playing what amounts to a 4-4 fake. And there's a touchdown! Touchdown! My God, a touchdown! We threw it to Haynes. We just dumped it with 5 seconds left. My God Almighty! Did you see what he did? David Green just straightened up, and we snuck the fullback over. Haynes is keeping the ball. Haynes has come running all the way across to the bench. We just dumped it over. It's 26-24. We just stepped on their face with a hobnail boot and broke their nose. We just crushed their face.
First, it blew the lid off the Georgia program. What that play and ensuing victory also did was give the Bulldog Nation hope again. We had gone to Knoxville and beaten the Volunteers. 22 years ago, Tennessee had defeated Georgia 9 consecutive times and owned the Bulldogs. Now the tables have completely turned. The Dogs enter today's extravaganza with a 5-game winning streak over the Volunteers. UGA has won 10 of the last 12 and is 16-6 versus UT since 2000. They are desperate on Rocky Top to return to relevance. They are convinced that Coach Josh Heupel and leading Heisman candidate Hendon Hooker can lead them there. The Volunteers have their eyes and their hopes trained on a first trip to Atlanta since 2007. And right now, all that's standing between Tennessee's path is a 10-ton red and black boulder. Check your airbags, buckle up. Today we'll witness the third top 5 matchup between the Hedges ever as number 1 Tennessee and third-ranked Georgia exchange blood, sweat, tears, and spit with a kickoff at 3:40. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is the Bulldog Sports Network. All right, the forward drive to kick off with Scott Howard, Eric Zier, and DJ Shockley is next. Thanks to our stadium engineer, Adam Gillespie, our studio producer, Luke Nadkarni, and our Scana stage producers, Chris Schiavone and Josh Connor. For Scott, Eric, DJ, and Lauren Smith, this is Neil Hondo Williamson. I'll talk to you again at halftime on the Bulldog Sports Network.